What's up, you stupid fucks? Welcome back to part 2 of how to renovate a bathroom for less than $1,000. So, quick recap of part 1. We just demoed the whole place, took down the wall tiles, took out the vanity, kept the tub, kept the toilet. All right, let's get the show on the road here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to hang sheetrock and cement board. We're hanging cement board in the shower area. Any wet areas get the actual cement board. And then in the regular bathroom, we're just going to hang moisture resistant and mold resistant sheetrock. So these boards come in 3 feet and 5 feet, and I like to hang them vertically so there's no horizontal seams in the water area. Let's watch me butcher this board. You have to use a grinder for the cement board because obviously you can't cut it with a regular knife. Common sense here. Also, screwing in these boards, I like to keep the screws between 8 and 12 inches apart. So for instance, if it's a 3x5 board, you would have 3 across at minimum and 5 down at minimum. You could always do more, never hurts. There's special screws that I use. It's called rock-on screws. They have these kind of cool little heads on it. Don't use regular fucking sheetrock screws. I know the old timers would say, oh, we could use them, and it's easy, it's fine, blah, blah, blah. Listen, these are the same people who actually decided to throw a rug on hardwood floors. So you're really going to listen to them? I don't think so. Use these. You can't go wrong. They're made for the application. Make sure you read them. You want the purple ones, all right? The other the green ones are used for hardy backboard. Also, understand what you're going to use to install the tile because there's different sides of the board that require a different application. If you read it, it says smooth side for mastic and rough side for mortar. I suggest you use mortar in the shower area, but some people like using mastic. Not the best, but make sure you read it so you install the boards the right way. So we installed mortar side first, which is the rough side, because that's what we're going to be using. Also, when you're installing these boards, understand how you shower. All right, you stand in the water bounces off you, it hits the walls. So the less seams in the water area, the better. As you noticed, I put my horizontal seams as high as I possibly can because not much water gets there. I mean, unless you're fucking playing around and having a party in there. That's the only way you get water up there. So moving on to the moisture resistant board, same concept. You want to keep everything as tight as possible, cut it to size. Screwing is the same application. You want at least 8 to 12 inches apart. These boards come in 4x8 boards, so you would probably want to do minimum 4 on the shorter side and minimum 8 on the long side. Discretion of what people say and do, but I don't give a fuck what people say and do. This is what I'm doing. You don't want to follow me, that's fine. Sheetrock cracks, not my problem. You figure it out. So the screws are a little different than the other ones. They're drywall screws. Drywall and sheetrock is all the same thing. Gypsum board, also the same thing. Um, I like to use 1.5 inches. I like to make sure that the screws really tight into the structure. I also make sure that the screw heads are a little recessed on the sheetrock because when you spackle, you don't want to catch your knife on a nail or a screw, I should say. It's actually the most fucking annoying thing in the world. I actually slowed down the video here because I want to show you something. I actually installed a larger board than the area, and that's because I want to cut it to contour with the actual wall. So if you notice, I took my utility knife and I'm running on the back side. I installed sheetrock there, and what I'm doing is I'm running the blade along the face of the sheetrock to give them a nice, clean cut. What I'm doing is this keeps the joint tight. See, and you just bend it, cut the paper off, and you literally have a nice, clean cut sheetrock that matches the wall. Before moving on, I just want to make one more comment about installing screws. Now, if you guys have difficulties installing screws and you screw them too far in, they make this drill bit that actually could go on your drill. It's very cheap. I don't know how much it is, a few dollars, but they actually look like uncircumcised penises. It's pretty interesting, but it does help you prevent them screwing the screw too far into the sheetrock. So think about that if you have problems. I'll leave a link in the description so you guys can look at it. All right, let's get back to the program here. So what we're doing here is we're infilling all the seams. What you do is you take mesh tape and you take mortar. This is the same mortar you're going to use to install the tiles with, and you literally spackle on the mortar over this mesh tape. You only need 1 coat. It's real simple. You do this, horizontals, verticals, and all the screw heads. It's pretty simple stuff. It'd be nice if you guys fucking like this and subscribe to it. You know, show some support every once in a while. Greatly appreciated it. No idea why I'm showing so much of this video. It's a pretty simple concept. I'm just making sure everything's all seamed up, closed up. Take your time with it. This is your first time. I don't fucking know what else to say. I don't know why I'm showing so much of this fucking video. It's actually blowing my fucking mind. I think this is over now, so hold on. Holy shit. I apologize for how long that fucking part was. I would rather watch paint dry at this point. So anyway, what we're doing here is we're spackling the seams for the gyp board. I like to use mesh tape for the vertical and horizontal seams. The corners I like to use the paper tape. As you can see here, this is the corner. I'm using paper tape. Metal corner beads for all my corners, just in case I would like to bump into them, like get a little crazy. And you spackle them in. It's pretty simple. I actually have a full-blown tutorial on how to do this. I'll leave the link in the description. I'm also going to post it right above there on the right-hand corner for you guys to click on. Look at that video. Tells you everything you need to know about spackling. This is one of those things that you need to do over time to get good at. So don't think you're going to be doing, you're not Picasso the first fucking time. And so take your time. You make a mess, not a problem. Remember, you're going to be sanding this at some point. So if you put too much on, you could always sand it off. So take your time. Actually, this is fun if you enjoy this type of stuff. So try to learn it. Look up a whole bunch of different YouTube tutorials. Like I said, I'll have mine up in the corner for you. I'll also keep a link in the description so you guys can just click on it whenever you want. And don't worry, I'm not going to bore you like I did on the other side. So we're going to end this and we're going to move on to waterproofing right now. So waterproofing. What this stuff is, it's called Red Guard. What Red Guard is, it's literally waterproofing in the can. Layman's term, that's what it is. So what you do is you literally install it right over the cement board because that's what's getting tiled. So anything in the shower area will get this. I like to do 2 coats. I like to make sure that I get the seams, obviously, because that's where the water will infiltrate first. And I will argue with anybody who wants to argue with me. This cement board is not waterproof. And I would say it 1,000 times over. You ever seen concrete outside, sidewalks, concrete? Water sits on it and water eventually disappears. What do you think? It evaporates all of it? No, it doesn't work like that. It's actually porous. It can absorb water, believe it or not. So I like to do 2 coats completely everywhere. And if you want to dispute this argument, I am ready to go downtown with this argument. Some people don't even like the waterproof because they say, oh, the concrete board's waterproof. It's not. Definitely not. So spend the $60 and do the right job so you have no headaches later on in life. Trust me, this is the right way of doing it. First of all, it's $60 and all the shit that you spend, that's 3 drinks at the fucking bar, all right? At least you can do is waterproof your fucking shower and because you're not going to touch it for the next 30. So once you finish installing the waterproofing, it'll dry red, hence the word Red Guard. And part 2 is pretty much over. Out of installing the boards, doing the waterproofing, this cost about $238 for part 2, which isn't too bad. We still have about $800 left. I'm going to show you what we can do with that in part 3. Stick around. Part 3 is going to be cool. It's going to start looking like a bathroom. See you then.